David Kilcullen in Washington. And coming back now with some more background to tonight's breaking story, Deborah Cornwall looks back on a day when the now ex-Premier Nathan Rees was replaced after 14 months by the state's first female leader, Kristina Keneally, in very dramatic circumstances.
I will not be handing New South Wales over to Eddie O'Brien, Joe Tripodi or Frank Sartor. I'm determined to restore integrity to the Government of New South Wales, and I will fight for that principle.
You'd have to say it couldn't get any worse, but it could.
The difficulty with governments is that they age at the same rate as dogs, and this government is now about 112 years old.
It was the last hurrah from a dead man walking.
Ladies and gentlemen, throughout the past 15 months, my ability to do good has been impaired at every turn. A malign and disloyal group, well known to the New South Wales community, has made the business of government almost impossible. The presence of such a group within the nation's oldest and proudest political party is intolerable. Their treachery and disloyalty can be borne no longer.
Rich stuff from a Premier who'd stepped over the corpse of the elected leader to get there, only to face the same humiliating fate 15 months later. And from the factional warlords who'd installed him, Joe Tripodi and Eddie O'Brien.
Should I not be Premier by the end of this day, let there be no doubt in the community's mind, no doubt, that any challenger will be a puppet of Eddie O'Brien and Joe Tripodi.
Speculation over who had the numbers for the top job kept changing today, with former Senior Minister Frank Sartor the early favourite.
Please, can I get through to the gate?
Do you think you'll be Premier by the end of the day?
No, look, can I just get through,
Have you got
please?
the numbers?
Thank you.
Only to be sidelined at lunchtime by growing support for the American-born Planning Minister Kristina Keneally.
I am nobody's puppet. I am nobody's protege. I am nobody's girl, Mr. Speaker.
The short, disastrous reign of Premier Nathan Rees signals a new low in the deeply unpopular New South Wales government.
You confident?
Yes.
A government so fly-blown after 15 years in power, it now appears so consumed by internal warring, it's all but given up on the business of governing.
There's nothing we can do about this. In New South Wales we have fixed terms for governments. They were a fashion in the 80s like leg warmers and worked about as well. The result is that a government that has died can't even bury itself if it wants to. This will go through to the end.
But I frankly don't think people even care anymore. I think voters in New South Wales turned off this lot a long time ago, and I don't think it's going to make any difference. They could put in Donald Duck. I mean, it would still be the same circus that has been going on for the last year.
Nathan Rees has been stalked by leadership rivals throughout his premiership. Then 2 weeks ago, he thought he'd finally secured the lifeline he needed, demanding the state party conference give him the right to pick his own ministers and rid himself of traitors in his cabinet. Joe Tripodi was the first to be speared.
It's now the last reshuffle before the next election. This
Yes.
is happening.
Yes.
We said that before, though.
Yes, I know. Was axing Joe Tripodi worth risking your job for? Was axing Joe Tripodi worth risking? Ultimately, the community of New South Wales will decide that. Do you expect a poll?
It was a crash or crash-through strategy that tonight ended in tears.
You know something about New South Wales? There are just too many days I find myself being asked questions about this. And I would frankly say to all those folk in the New South Wales government, get your act together. Get your act together.
So it's death by 1,000 cuts in New South Wales, and no one can deny the significance and the importance of New South Wales to a federal government when they go to an election. They will be particularly concerned about the trashing of the brand in New South Wales. You'd have to say it's almost beyond repair.
I think you could say the job is ahead of New South Wales's first female Premier.